Welcome to Dramatic Pause, a Rose Theater podcast. On today's episode, we'll be talking with Ellie and Grace, two high school interns at the Rose Theater. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dramatic Pause, a Rose Theater podcast. Today, we are so excited because we have a couple of our high school interns with us today to tell us about their experience working at the Rose as a high school intern. So welcome, guys. Would you please introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about how you kind of got involved with the Rose? Why don't we just start with Grace?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Grace Youngblood. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I first got involved with the Rose my junior year of high school. I was just like, I kind of want to take some singing lessons. And I started to really get into theater. And I was like, just really finding my passion here. And yeah, and then I became a high school intern this year. So yeah.
That's awesome. And then also welcome, Ellie.
Hi, my name is Ellie. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I started taking classes at the Rose 7th or 8th grade. One of our really close family friends were in the brigade and they said, Ellie, this would be perfect for you. You should join. Next year I auditioned and then it all went up from there. And I've spent many, many hours at the Rose.
That is awesome. Very exciting. And you guys can't see the video, but Grace is actually literally sitting at the Rose right now, has just gotten done with the class. And Ellie was volunteering today and rushed home to be on this podcast. So Rose kids through and through, which is super awesome. So just generally speaking, how did you guys find out about the high school internship? And how did you guys decide that it was maybe something you wanted to pursue? And why don't we flip-flop this time and we'll start with Ellie.
Yeah, so I was in the brigade since middle school. So I always had seniors in brigade and they all did the senior internship. So I was very familiar with it. And then by the time I was a senior this year, I was like, yeah, I really want to do that. And I did this mainly because I kind of felt like I wanted to go into teaching for a career. And so through this internship, I've been assisting with a lot of classes and I've really found out that, yes, I do want to teach after high school.
That's awesome. Yeah, since you've been around the Rose so long, I'm sure you were a little more familiar, but that's super great that this got to help you kind of figure out your career path. And then Grace, you've actually had a little less time at the Rose, so it might have come a little quicker on you about trying to decide if you wanted to do the internship or not.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just started brigade last year and I heard of the senior internship and I heard of the seniors doing it, but I was like, I don't know if that's the thing that I really want to do. And then one of the senior interns that I actually went to school with recommended me for the internship. And I was like, you know what? I better look into this. And I did it because I wanted to do theater in college and then I wanted to educate myself on all aspects of theater. I'm doing stage managing right now. I never thought I would do that. And working with little kids is so fun.
That's awesome. Super, super cool. So I think we touched just a little bit on it while talking about kind of what made you want to do the internship, but the high school interns get to work on kind of a variety of projects. So what kind of have been your favorite projects? And we can definitely talk about anything that was different because of COVID or that you really enjoyed because it was sort of in that different world. But what kind of projects have you gotten to work on this year? And maybe what was your favorite in particular? Why don't we go with Grace?
Yeah, so I've worked on Playscapes, which is our intern improv show, and that was virtual this year. And it was a super new setting, but I ended up really enjoying it. I didn't think I was like, it's going to be virtual. I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I would in person, but it was actually super, super fun. And it was definitely a new experience. And then I am currently helping direct some scenes in our show for Senior Brigade, Thoroughly Modern Millie. And then I'm stage managing for the Junior Brigade. And then I've also done some marketing things with #Enough. I think my favorite, they're all so fun. I really liked Playscapes, and I also really love working with the Junior Brigaders. Oh my gosh, they're all so talented. So yeah.
So I started this year with Playscape, similar to Grace, and it's same thing, kind of a little different. I was so nervous because I'm more of kind of like a shy person. So I was so nervous about like all these people in improv, but I had so much fun with it. I think it's because you're really friends with the other interns. So I started with Playscapes, and then one of my main focus was I want to teach. Like I want to be in the classroom with the kids. But through Elkhorn, so I go to Elkhorn South, and I had the opportunity to do an internship through school as well. So I'm able to leave school early so I can go to the Rose and work more hours at the Rose. And so I did the Alice project, which was virtual online. I do minimum of 8 hours a week with classes, assisting with classes, and most of them are musical theater. I do one with the really little 3-year-olds for tap and ballet, and I just love teaching. They're so fun. I've created such a good relationship with all of the students, and I don't think I could pick a favorite class.
I love that. That's awesome. So what I'm kind of hearing too is that as an intern, you get the opportunity to tailor your projects a little bit to what you're really looking at going into, or what you're really passionate about.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
I know that Ellie's done more like teaching with little kids because she wants to go into elementary education, and then I got the opportunity to do stage managing because I want to learn more about theater. So yeah.
That's awesome. Super cool. And so then specifically this year, with all of the kind of COVID stuff and all that jazz, you guys did talk a little bit about Playscape, but normally I think there's a lot of camaraderie between the high school interns, because they're all kind of working on things together. They're having meetings together in person. And so, I bet that was just a little bit different this year, but do you still feel like you guys got to have sort of that connection and that sort of group effort, group involvement with some of the other high school interns?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Even through a virtual setting. I don't know. I did a podcast just for fun with one of the other interns, Daisy, and then we all got to hang out outside one time because we were all just like, I don't know, we should hang out. And we're all pretty good friends, and it's interesting to see how we built a relationship through working on Playscapes and doing this project, even though it's in a virtual setting.
Yeah, to add on to that, at least since I've been at the Rose for a long time, and a lot of them have too. So we were all kind of familiar with each other before we were interns, which really helped us to feel more comfortable with each other.
Sure, that's awesome. Yeah. And shout out to Daisy for sure. If any of our podcast listeners are listening in, Daisy runs the Teens in Theater podcast, TNTTEA. And you can also find that where you find this podcast. So if you're listening on YouTube, or if you're listening off of our website page, you can also find the TNT podcast there that Daisy runs for us, which is super cool. Shout out to her for sure. But yeah, so I super appreciate you guys just kind of talking a little bit about your experience. And we're actually getting to this season, the time of year, this early springtime, where we're starting to talk to juniors going to be seniors about doing the high school internship. And so if someone was thinking about the high school internship, maybe hadn't made up their mind yet, what advice would you give them now having almost completed the year?
I would totally consider the internship. They could tailor it to like what you want to do in the future. And yeah, I just think it's a cool experience and something to consider doing before you leave for college.
Yes, kind of similar. I think like this internship gives you a chance to meet some people and form so many connections that you're going to have forever. And so I think it's a really, even if you're not going into a career in theater afterwards, because like I'm doing teaching, I'm not closing the door on theater because I love it. But I think with just you form all great connections that will help you further in life.
I agree. Yeah, we, me and Ellie actually met through the Rose, and we're like best friends now. I literally just hung out with her yesterday, and just the like being at the Rose can build so many connections, even in the virtual setting.
All of my like best friends are from the Rose.
That's so awesome. You guys, that's so great. I'm so happy. Do you guys want to just like shout out to any of the education people at the Rose? I know you guys work pretty closely with Michael Miller, but I know you guys might work with a few different groups, especially teaching classes. So if you want to kind of just take a shout out to anyone on the education staff or anything that you have super love, that would be awesome.
I super love everyone. I think I owe a lot of who's helped me so much throughout my experience is Sue and Jerry, and Stephanie and Michael Miller, Brian, Shannon. They've all been so great to me, helped me so much, always willing to give me like advice on teaching because that's what I'm interested in. And I just owe a lot to them. I'm gonna be so sad when I like have to leave, and I'm gonna be like a mess. I'm gonna be crying because I'm gonna miss them all so much.
Me too. Oh my gosh, Sue and Jerry and Stephanie and Michael and Brian. Oh my gosh, they're all just so amazing, and I'm so lucky to have the best teachers. And Michael James too. He just came in here. He shares a room with Sue with his desk, and he was like, "I'm so sorry." And I was like, "Michael, it's okay. Your desk is in here."
We
But,
love Michael James.
yeah, he runs the junior brigade, so I do a lot of I do stage managing for him since he is the director of junior brigade, and it has just been so fun to work with him.
That's awesome. Oh, how wonderful. Yeah. So many cool teachers at the Rose. We just have such a great staff, I think. But yeah, I'm so glad that you guys have had such an opportunity to really meet with everyone. You guys kind of really ran the gamut of what our education staff looks like. And if anyone's listening and is saying, "Oh, I know a couple of those names, but not all of those names," you can actually find everybody up on our website if you're interested in learning more about any of those teachers. But I would also suggest the best way to learn about those teachers is to take classes or camps with those teachers. And we are full steam ahead on doing some socially distanced summer classes and camps. And then of course you can always join us in the fall. So Grace and Ellie, I want to thank you guys so much for your time. Is there anything that you guys want to just say that I didn't ask a question about, or that you really feel like you got to pop in before the end of this podcast?
Do the internship. It's so fun.
Yes, I feel like I should almost like give a thank you to the Rose because I feel like they've done so much for me that I like can't even like express in words on how much they've made me such a good person.
Yeah, the Rose completely changed my life. I did not know what I was going to do with like my future before I stepped into the Rose, and now I'm a theater major, probably going to Chicago. So
I love that. You guys are so great. Thank you. Thank you again for coming on and sharing your story and your experiences. And we look forward to still having you for a little while longer as interns. And of course, we wish you like all the best in the future too. Sounds like you guys have got some great heads on your shoulders and you guys are ready to take on college. So thank you again for your time. And everyone listening, join us again because we have got some amazing podcasts coming up soon. And you can follow us on our YouTube channel, or you can always find us on therosetheater.org. Thanks again, guys. Bye.
thank you so much. Bye.